Okay, so today we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorites, and it is Owly! Yay! Full disclosure, when Owly first came out, I lost my mind. Like, when I discovered Owly, I had it on all of my e-readers. I bought every copy that I could find, and met Andy Runton at one time, and I had him commission Owly and Wormy as Doctor Who characters. I put it aside to get it framed and I could not find it, but like, I was kind of thrilled more recently because I finally reissue colorized copies of the series. Now, when I first discovered Owly, it was actually from Top Shelf, and they made really low print runs of these. Andy Rickton was on kind of like the con circuit for a little while, and it seems like that was like the best way to purchase these. They disappeared, like literally couldn't find them in a comic shop or at a used bookshop or at a regular bookshop. I'm sure you could find them online, but like they got really quiet for a while, and that's why I'm really glad that Scholastic's picked up this series and are making it available for a next generation, or even this generation, because I don't think anybody really knows about these books, and I'm just glad that the world can see a new edition of it. So, as you can see immediately, there are a few differences. First, we're going to go over the original series, and then I'm going to talk about the differences in the new Scholastic editions. Original editions of Owly have kind of this like watercolor paper or cover, like there's like kind of a texture to it. This new edition of Owly, however, has a matte finish with like Owly and the word Owly's being glossy. I like the original series a little bit more because I don't know if you can see, but there's already some damage along the books right here. And it happens a lot when you have like a matte cover, and it's not like scratches, like looking at it from like here, oh no, this is a perfectly good book, but then you hit like the wrong angle and you can see almost everyone who's like touched it. Like this one definitely feels a little bit more delicate. Now, I'm gonna assume these are the same books. This one is The Way Home and The Bittersweet Summer, and this one's just titled The Way Home. Another thing that I liked about this design was you have like the front of Owly, they're going on a little walk, and the back you can actually see behind them. Like you can see the same scene from the front but behind. It's just a cool little detail. And then of course you have the ISBN number and the companies as little signs. Like it just feels a little bit more cared for cover-wise. Not that there's anything wrong with the Scholastics one, but as far as the look between the new and the original, I like the original. I like the feel of it. I like how much detail has gone into it. I like the fact that like each one has their own distinct color, and you can kind of just like see them all in their individual lives. I like that there's like no numbers on it. Like it makes the book its own entity instead of it being like a complete series. As to where this little guy is already letting us know that there's going to be more to come since it's got a number 1. Let's see what's different on the inside. I'm going to start with Classic Owly. I'm just going to do a few pages. We're not going to really do the whole story for this one. I just want you to get a feel for the differences between the new and the original. We've got the facts about the novel. We have a few of the acknowledgements, and then the table of contents, which we have The Way Home and The Bittersweet Summer. More acknowledgements. And finally, the good stuff. So, we've got these cute little birds. They're enjoying themselves. They hear a rustle. Bam! Owly. Now, keep in mind, an owl's a predator, so obviously they're gonna freak out. As you can see, there's not really any words, there's not a lot of dialogue, and the original Owly series feels a bit more of like an old-timey movie with it being in black and white, and that's kind of what I like to like think about this, because there aren't too many like words, is that it's more of a storyboard than like a graphic novel. So, Owly is kind of bummed out about it. Here's another sound, a little confused. And it's bugs trapped in a jar. He does the right thing, he lets them go, but birds, bugs, all they see Owly is a predator. So immediately you can kind of tell that he's a little lonely, he's a little sad. doesn't really have a friend yet. We get a drip, it starts to rain, and we turn the page and we find one of the greatest rain scenes since Sin City. Honestly, I saw this and I was like, oh, a little Frank Miller action, a little black and white rain. I love how like homemade or how like crafted it feels. Like you can clearly see that it was done with like pen. It feels a little bit more personal. He hears some more noises. Somebody or something is making a ruckus. And it turns out this little worm fell into a puddle and is drowning. I'm gonna say right now, Owly does not hold back in hitting the feels. Like, and I think that's why I was so obsessed with Owly. It was because it was so emotional and so raw and did it without any dialogue. Let's continue. He gets him a little leaf. He's shivering, and Owly knows he has to try his darndest to save this tiny worm. Things are getting emotional, guys. This book's really heavy. He runs home, he puts him near the fire, he gets him all warm, he makes him tea. Owly's just trying his darndest, alright? And he sits and he waits with him all night. Again, I love the art for this series. I love what they're able to do with just 2 colors. I don't want to keep comparing it to like Sin City and Frank Miller, but that was kind of the last time I saw something in that style done so well. And I think it's really cool that it does feel so homemade, it does feel so personal, and then it's still really well done and really well crafted. I mean, like, this shot alone, I love this little scene. Next day, Owly wakes up, has no idea where he's at, has no idea that an owl can actually be friendly. And then Owly starts to ask him where he lives, where he's from, and Wormy tells him about his mom and his dad and what happened before the storm. Wormy tells him how he ends up into the puddle. Wormy starts realizing he doesn't know where his parents are, and Owly gets an idea. They're gonna pack up, and Owly's gonna take him home, and he's gonna make sure that he gets home safely. I just think it's really interesting that they try to keep some real world elements to it. Like, he's still an owl. A lot of the other characters know he's an owl, know that he's a predator, but he's not any ordinary owl. It's Owly, the like nicest, sweetest, trying as gosh darn hard as he can. And that's why these books are so fun. And again, it's done without any dialogue. And like, to literally watch this owl trying to do his darndest, I had to buy all 5 books. Alright, so that was classic Owly. Again, a few things we're going to point out is black and white, little to no dialogue, and some of the names in the table of contents. So, let's do it again with the new edition. Ready? Alright, so this one's called The Way Home, same name as the last one. We've got similar characters that we saw from the last setup. Owly, it's already in color, the inside of it's already so much more different. I don't know if that's the same little picture, but they still did the picture thing. You know, Owly's favorite thing is like scrapbooking, so there's going to be a lot of Polaroids hidden within this. The acknowledgement stuff's still the same. Alright, and so here we see the first big difference in the table of contents. It's the names. It's Finding Home and Flying Home, not The Way Home and the Bittersweet Summer. It's the same story. I don't really know why they would change the titles on these. And it's not like they're doing a different story from a different book and making it. So that's kind of interesting. First, Finding Home. Here it is again. Those dang birds eating out of a bowl. Alright, so, hey, it's a big bowl of seed. It looks so good. I wonder who left it for us. Heart, 'cause he's eating. Rustle, rustle. What's that? It's an owl! And they freak out and they leave. So, just from looking at the first page, you can tell dialogue and a narrator's voice. Oh, there's that noise, there's that jar, and there's bugs crying for help. He lets them out. They scream, "Let's go!" And they let you know that Owly just wanted to help. It's not easy for Owly to make friends. I don't know if I like the narration. I mean, like, clearly you can kind of see that in the original series, but with a little voice kind of like letting you know, it feels like a bigger guilt trip than the original one. I'm just gonna say that. And here's that Frank Miller rain scene that we had just seen. I think it's really well done in color. I really like that they did more of like a watercolor texture to it. I don't know if it's hand done or digital. I was guessing digital, but if it's hand done, dude, your work is good enough that it looks like it was done digitally. And the only reason I'm kind of guessing that it's done digitally is because I feel like if it was watercolor, if it was done by hand, like, it would be a little bit more translucent. I feel like they should have went a little softer in colors and maybe not so bold, because it would reflect Owly's personality a little bit more. I know it's a kid's book. I know kids probably aren't this picky on things. I really like the artwork and the coloring for it, but I wish it would have just taken a like lighter tone. Like I said, I wish it was a little bit more translucent, like actual watercolor is. It's not a big deal, but it's just something I thought of. So, Owly starts hearing a ruckus, starts hearing someone crying for help, and it's our dear Wormy trapped in that darn puddle again, except this time he actually has a voice to scream out. Owly picks up a leaf and decides to take him home. Oh, let's see. Owly rushes the little worm home to get him safe, warm, and dry. He's doing his best. He's making him tea. A warm cup of tea will help. I love this scene. It's a great scene. But sleep is important too. And he sits and he waits. And this is still a great shot. Even done in color, you still get a bit of like the marker effect from the rain and the light. It's a good shot. It's a really great shot. Just to do the highlight of an apple by candlelight blows my mind. Black and white, color, really, really great little clip. So he waits until morning. And then it really depends on how you want to see Owly. I personally think giving Owly a voice was kind of weird. And so I'm glad Wormy is really the only one doing the conversating between these two. And it's cute where he's like, "Who are you?" "Owly. I'm an owl. Owly." I really like the picture dialogue for him and Wormy being the only one with an actual voice. Although I can see some people like not liking it and being like, "Why do I have to guess what this is? Why can't you just tell me?" But this also probably helps kids too. Like the parents can read this side, the kids can read what Owly's talking about, right? He thanks him for saving him. He asks where he is. He told him he found him in a puddle, and then he says, "Well, I remember my parents," and I'm glad they didn't change this part of it. Like, I'm glad he didn't go full conversation and they did keep these three blurbs. It looks like they kind of just threw this one onto the side. And there's that terrible accident again. And he says, "Now I'm lost." Owly wants to help Wormy, but he doesn't know how to get there. And then he gets an idea. And then they get a map. And says Owly is happy that he can help. And Wormy is too. They can follow the map, but it's a long way home. So I like both of these editions. I think they're great individually. I can definitely see this being more for like family. Like I can definitely see this one being for kids and their parents reading together. I'm really glad that like hopefully these will be at book fairs, and hopefully this will get people into like other indie comics. And I can see why they colorized it and why they added the words. Like, I'm not mad about it. It was still good, and I really like that they don't give Owly a voice. Like, I like that he remains quiet and light and, like, soft. Like, making him speak in pictures kind of just, like, keeps the character where he's supposed to be, honestly. But if you don't have kids and you want something a little mature, I would read it in the black and white. The color might make it feel a little bit more kiddie, but the black and white and having to be able to like distinguish it yourself and being able to like read it yourself and come up with what he's saying, I think this is more for adults, and I think this one is more of a fun read and coming up with interpreting what these two are going through. So that's it. That's Owly. That's all I got. It's a great series regardless. If you can't find the original ones, definitely pick up the Scholastic ones. It's fun, it's hearty, it will make you a little sad, but there's always like something positive in Owly. So check it out. That's it. That's all I got. That's it. That's all I got.